Well,
Well,
here
we're
we
back.
are. We're back
We are.
from our holiday break.
Holiday hiatus, even?
Yeah, everyone takes it off, because all the podcasters do too, because holidays are kind of wacky.
Well, they are. It's hard enough getting us all in the same room, but around that time of year,
Yeah.
This time you were the international man of mystery.
I was. I did. I popped back to Blighty for a quick visit.
And you were in Heathrow when we were communicating. You were at an Enterprise Rent-A-Car
Yes.
stand. Now,
Yes,
was that
it was.
planned or was that not planned? Because
No,
there was a little energy in that answer on the group chat. When
No,
you,
it was definitely planned.
Okay.
The plan is that I would get out. We would fly out of DFW at 10 to 7 on Christmas Eve, land at Heathrow at 10 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, and then go over and get the rental car and be on our merry way. Our flight was delayed like 2.5 hours getting out of Dallas, so that threw everything off, and then it just kind of spiraled
Snowballed
a
from
bit
there?
Yeah, but it was okay.
well, it sounded like the family had a
Oh yeah, it was
good
great.
time out there. Mom,
We did, yeah, absolutely. My mum, she burned food on Christmas Day.
As a
which,
tradition? Is that
it actually kind of is, and because I've been, telling people for years about my mum's adventures with burning food. It's quite epic, really. And
My grandmother used to burn things, and she would just say, "Oh, it's a little brown. It's just a little brown."
Oh no! See, my mom, she has this thing. I'm really glad she's not watching these because I would never hear.
Or maybe
of
she
it.
is.
No, she wouldn't be able to keep quiet. Well, we'll see. This might be the one that.
Yeah, the phone starts ringing.
That's
You're
right.
like,
That's
Hey, Mom, we
"Wait,
talked about you.
Hold on a second. I'm getting a.
What's going on?
Oh dear.
10-hour difference? Oh, hey, what the?
No, she would do this thing where, because she's she used to smoke, so she would, the staple diet of any lower class household in Britain in the 80s was fry it. And so my mom would put sausages. It always seemed to happen with sausages. She put sausages in a frying pan and they're frying, and then she would go to the bathroom, and she liked to use the bathroom and have a cigarette while she was in the bathroom.
Too long.
And she'd be gone too long, and then I would be in my room playing with something, and my mum would come out, and I would hear, "Stephen, the sausages are burning. Why didn't you say something?" And I didn't know I was supposed to be watching the food. And this would go back and forth, and the end result would be eating burned sausage.
Burnt sausages.
I've eaten.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really, I don't have a fear that fear of cancer that people have with eating burned food. That's what they say. We don't want to eat burned
Okay.
food because that's carcinogenic. Because I've eaten so many burned sausages when I was a kid.
I thought you were going to say you don't have a fear of lung cancer because you've eaten so many carcinogens with the burned food.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Close.
It's same. I mean,
You're- You just had a high cancer tolerance. And-
well, let's hope.
yeah.
Goodness gracious! Why did you put? I don't know. You may have jinxed everything.
Well,
Hey,
I don't know.
My mother beat lung cancer 3 times while smoking, so I don't, that's
What's today's date? What's the date?
the 3rd,
The
Third.
third?
January 3rd.
I am 1 year, 2 days.
Really?
No fumar.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's good.
I hit my first year.
Do you get a chip
Do you
for
get?
that?
Yes. Did you get to coin?
Strangest thing, I got a gift certificate for Camel.
Oh, well,
I
that's,
think
I think
up
that's
in the mail. I don't know how they knew. Hey,
Oh,
come on
man.
back. First
Congratulations,
pack's on us.
congratulations on your 1 year. That's not the American tobacco industry. I
No,
don't know
not
what
at
it
all.
is.
You know what I got
the
in the mail?
marketing wizards of Philip Morris.
I have a big birthday coming up, and I got my AARP package.
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing makes you feel young and
Hey, get 15% off at CC's Pizza, so we get your after the AARP card.
Can't eat a thing. I couldn't even eat dinner tonight.
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. But England was, it was still there, which is nice.
Did you go to
I did, of course.
Did you go to any of our competitors over
I
there?
did. I actually, it was kind of a bumper year because, first off, I apologize in advance. It's been pointed out to me that since I came back, apparently I'm sounding extra specially British more than I normally do, which I don't.
I didn't pick that up.
That was a thing,
That
yeah.
up? You guys thought it was funny. I went on a expletive-ridden tirade at work on my first day back, and I think that's
Well, that
what
sounds
really,
British.
That really sold it for some of my
That's
colleagues.
British.
It's like he's just right.
He just
okay.
got back.
He just got back.
But it doesn't count if you cuss with the British accent. For some reason, it works better.
I know.
It sounds less
it's like,
threatening.
oh, it's so charming. And
Yeah.
it's like, you can even kind of get away with more of the egregious, like the C word, which is really a big no-no in the States.
Cannibal?
Sure.
That's the
why not?
one.
Yeah.
See you
that's
next
one.
Tuesday. But anyway, I did actually. I hit 3. Forbidden Planet in London and Forbidden Planet in Cambridge. And very, very nice, very lovely independent shop called Chaos Comics in a town called St. Albans. And yeah, it was good fun,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. Going to comic book stores 2 days after Christmas meant that some of the pickings were slim. I was there in the summer, and they had a plethora of McFarlane figures. I mean,
Yeah.
they had anyone you could possibly want. Now, not so much. But beyond that, yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
I like Forbidden Planet. I make a stop there each time I make a trip. So that's
You
good.
have to. You have to. My daughter, because I took my youngest with me, and she bought a little pin. It's the rocket, the Forbidden Planet rocket, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
So, anyways.
She's experiencing the
Oh, she had
hobby with
she had
her
blast. I know, and she's old enough to drink, and
There.
So and here she turned
21.
21.
I didn't know she turned 21.
She did, beginning of December. So I have
Oh,
no
wow.
more. I have no more children. I have no more teenagers. I have none of that. It's all adults.
I have one left that's 20. So she's got 6 months, and then she can drink with the rest
I
of
was
us,
kind of
suppose.
disappointed because I thought there would be some sort of Highlander quickening-esque
No.
thing with the last one, but it was more of a, hey, you're legal, you can drink this now. Yeah, I don't really like that, and that was it.
That's pretty much how my house goes. Like it's funny. I have a great bar. I have everything you could ever dream of having. Because
Sam Malone over there mixing drinks. And
well, I just don't
Yeah.
I don't
Part-time.
drink very often by myself. Or
Allspice Dram.
I don't know what this is.
Well, then, you have work to do.
I have work to do.
You have work
Okay.
to do.
Yeah, so I went to a buddy's house. It was a really fun sort of cultural experience. He's a first generation Chinese immigrant, and his parents were in town from China, and we did the whole tea thing beforehand. Like his village is really into tea before dinner. His wife's village does after dinner. Apparently, that's a big controversy there. But
Right, okay.
I was unaware of this.
unaware, yeah, unindoctrinated.
But I had tea with his dad, and then we ate. But they didn't I don't know if culturally they just didn't realize we needed water. So we didn't have water, but we did have a giant bottle of bourbon there. And by the end of that night, I was treating that bourbon like it was sweet tea, and I was the second drunkest I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
It's not good. I won't do it again.
Oh.
I'm cured of drinking for a little while now.
I don't understand the obsession when you go to restaurants about giving you the glass of water.
So I like water.
Well, so do I. I mean,
Yeah.
but if I wanted if I went to a restaurant and I wanted a glass of water, I would say, "May I have a glass of water?" Oh, absolutely, and that's fine. But this thing about you've got to make sure that you're given a glass of. I don't. It seems.
That was at his house.
Oh, I thought you were at a restaurant.
No.
Oh,
we were-
okay. Well, never mind.
Well, I had taught him how to make a prime rib. He made the prime rib, which was really good. He did a good job. And then we bottom line, culturally, like if his dad wanted some more wine, he had to pour wine for somebody else. So my wife got more wine all the time. I kept getting extra bourbon because apparently you can't pour yourself one unless you pour the guest one. It was a real tough night by the time it was all said and
Oh,
done.
yeah, it sounds it. It sounds what an ordeal.
Well, no, it was the aftermath I did not do well with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just big juicy cheeseburger and fries for
Yeah.
breakfast. That's what you want.
So there's different. Have you ever heard of the 7 Dwarves of Drunkenness? No.
No.
But I guess if you line their names out, I can figure
Okay.
them out. Angry,
So-
happy.
There's a dopey. There's a happy.
Right.
There's a sneezy. Like, and sneezy, I just think it makes you sick.
Oh,
Right.
pukey. Should be
Pukey.
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 Yes.
Pukey. You've
Where
got a
does
Doc.
come
Well,
into this?
so Doc, I can tell you what this is. I have a buddy that when he gets drunk, he gets deeply philosophical
Okay.
and like whacked out, like, everything that we experience right now has happened before. This is our third turn around this whole process, and it's going to happen again and again. And I'm like, okay, so you come from the Battlestar Galactica philosophy of life.
Yeah.
I understand, but that was the last time he was super drunk. But you have the drunken philosophers. Those are the
Right.
docs.
Okay.
So anyway, I have a buddy. He's a sleepy. The way that he deals with being drunk is his body's like, no more for you. I'm just gonna stop, and he goes to sleep right there.
Okay.
I get sick.
You get sick.
I get sick, and
So you're
it's not good.
You'll puke.
Yeah, it's only happened to me twice in my life. That was the second time. I won't do it again. Won't do it again. I'm
I'm
done.
not telling you what mine is.
No.
Is there a dwarf called belligerent?
God. Yes, angry.
Grumpy. There's a
grumpy.
grumpy.
No, it's not angry.
Oh.
It's not grumpy. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not. I just get silly. I think.
All right.
Sort of.
So it's
yeah,
dopey.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of. Dudley Moore meets. No. Anyway. So
that was your holiday.
That was
right.
Yeah, my holiday was pretty. It was pretty laid back. Just not. I cooked a lot of stuff,
Right.
but yeah, it was a pretty tame holiday. We were all here. I worked a bunch. It's a time to catch up on things.
And you, young man.
Well, as y'all both know, I got kind of a late birthday, early Christmas
Right.
gift. It's that so for a lot of collectors, there are bucket lists of places you want to go visit.
Yeah.
And ever since
Right.
I was
Oh, we haven't talked about this yet.
Ever since I was in 7th grade and I saw that first ad in a Marvel Comics, Mile High Comics, the New York comic book store was at Big Apple,
Midtown.
Right.
and Forbidden Planet, which
Okay.
There you
is
go.
on our list.
I've been to 2 of 3.
Yeah, see, I don't go. I don't do a lot of those things for myself, just because large family, you're doing other things. So for my birthday gift, my granddaughter Allie, who lives with me, said she heard me, Stephen and I talking on the phone one day, and she heard us talking about the Emerald City
Yes,
Convention.
that's right. Emerald City.
About the time
Yep.
that your daughter is going to get married.
Correct.
And I'd thrown out hey, Denver's halfway between there. Maybe we'll meet there and go to Mile High Comics. And so she, on her little student salary, set aside, and once the college let out for the year on the 15th, we flew out to Denver,
Nice.
spent the weekend, more than the weekend, because I thought we were coming back Sunday. We came back Monday because
Right.
I can't count, and I don't understand where midnight is on the dock. When it said
We
midnight,
read, we don't
yeah, it's like
calculate.
midnight Sunday. Okay, so we land Sunday. Oh, that's Monday, but okay, time changes because Denver's an hour the other way
Behind us.
Right.
So I was just confused, and she'd actually, reached out to them and said, hey, I'm gonna bring my grandfather out here. He works at a comic book store. If Chuck's there and available, he'd love to meet. And they were like, hey, bring this email. And so we went there, and there's a little video that I can try to edit into this and post where she's filming me, and I'm walking in there, and just 63,000 square feet of retail space.
Not too shabby.
And
Beats our,
Oh.
2000.
once again, it's kind of hard to do one for one, but
Yeah.
to Chuck's credit, he was getting ready to do an auction for the Denver homeless. The proceeds were going to that.
Well done.
And we didn't know that when we walked in. Showed the email. They went and got him. He gave me a good solid 15 minutes.
Nice.
And chatted for a minute. And then he was like, hey, this is my back issue guy. You're the back issue guy. Why don't y'all talk? And so we spent about 90 minutes together.
That's fun.
Touring around the store.
Wow.
Just had a great time. And the whole time Allie's just like watching me skip around and stuff. And, unfortunately, their prices are a little more competitive than I like, so I bought one. I bought one comic book because I said I'm not going to go in here and buy. So I bought a new issue because
Right.
I don't be buying comics in other places.
well,
Yeah.
you do want to pay homage, and
You do.
You got to.
I will say he is a unique individual, and his I wouldn't want to try to run his outfit. That is more store than I would ever want to try to.
Yeah, sure.
But for those of y'all, if
How many people were there? 63,000 square feet.
there was at least 28 store employees.
Gosh.
There were several on the floor, but also
Whoa.
they had an auction going on. So he had employees there that were kind of handlers. They were
Okay.
bringing things up. So I don't know if that's a regular
So
Saturday.
how busy was the auction? Were
They
there
were
like
packed.
hundreds of people there?
There were he sold tickets, and there was about 80 seats.
Wow.
And they were
Okay.
packed, and we were standing on the peripheral, and they were selling lots, and Allie, when I was walking around, Allie stood there and paid attention to what was going on. When I came back by, she goes, I've tallied, and she goes, they're probably at 30 grand right now,
Wow.
proceeds. It had
Wow.
been going for about 45 minutes, and it was going to go till 3 o'clock.
We've not done 30,000 in this store in a single day.
Yeah. And he is just,
Wow.
well, and walking around with the back issue manager, the way they've got their bookkeeping, all their mail order stuff counts toward their daily sales, even though they
Right.
monitor that. So
Yeah.
he's like, we could do $1 million day. Just on
Wow.
just on sales, because once again, those pictures I sent you of Superman for 59,000.
Yeah.
You sell a couple of those.
Oh yeah.
Very quickly, and like I said, I looked at their glass case where it had those high priced books, and some of them were color copies, high res, but it was ballistic glass with alarms on the books, and then his Pueblo art collection, which I couldn't go see because it wasn't the legend and lore behind that was in 2012. He had a massive bank loan, and the bank had gone insolvent, and the new people took over, didn't want to take on the loan because they didn't believe comic books were worth that. And so he had made an arrangement with the new bank president to come down, and the bank there while he's walking around giving him the side eye until he looked up, second story where the office, kind of like it's a warehouse, so it's got that upstairs where the managers would be.
Sure.
He's like, what's that? And he goes, Pueblo art, pottery and stuff. That ended up being the collateral.
Oh wow.
And then somewhere in there, Chuck just broke down and sold one, and since 2014 they have no bank debt.
wow.
They still operate. They have taxes are their biggest
Sure.
on that huge side, and I'm probably condensing the story quite a bit, but
Wow.
Chuck is quite the showman.
Well, he said for years, like his advice to every comic shop owner is to own your property.
Yeah,
Own the property that you're in. And he said after that, everything's gravy. It's very hard to do, especially like we're in a shopping center,
yeah.
so
Sure.
that's a difficult thing to do. But yeah, if you want a warehouse, I'm sure.
yeah.
I can see
and
that.
that's- And once again, you condense down all your stores
Yeah.
in the area into that one.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's right.
and what's interesting is out the entryway, it's all these cases with all the newsletters. They used to give out those newsletters when you'd order something from there, and there's a picture of him and Buddy in the late 70s standing in front of the old Arlington location shaking hands.
Wow.
And they apparently, of course, they known each other, and it's a great experience. Thank you again, Allie, for pulling out all the stops on that. I can't wait for us to go traveling over there and go take a gander, but I will warn anybody that goes there. Kevin Smith said this on his podcast, and it is true. When you're taking an Uber, you're going through some very rough neighborhoods in Denver. If you don't understand that it is a warehouse district, you're going to think your Uber driver's taking you somewhere to kill you. That is not the case. It's just in an older, crappy side of town.
Right.
And then it opens up into a warehouse district, and then you see all the artwork on the outside of the building.
Right.
You're like, oh, then now I'm okay.
That's it. But you are like, but I don't want to walk 2 blocks that way. From the downtown Hilton, it was about a 7-minute Uber drive.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So, once again, those y'all are going to go.
Right. You've been warned.
You just know.
Safety first.
Yeah, the driver's not taking you to leave you in a barrel somewhere.
The next time I'm in Denver, that'll be the stop.
It's just fun. I mean, you look at all this stuff and you're like, okay, I know this has been here 100 years. And since you don't have any banknote,
Sure.
you can kind of run things that way. And then apparently there's another offsite where more of their mail order is done. They have a main part, but there where I think I was telling you, or maybe I've been telling someone else, there were pallets that were wrapped back there of long boxes that they had dates on. Like 89, 90, 91. They're like, yeah, we pulled the keys out. We haven't gotten around to organizing this yet. That are and shrunk.
Wow.
But that's how much volume they have coming in. Is that they still have 20 years of pallets to they get the keys out. There's no Superman #1 buried in there.
Right.
But if there's 15 copies of The Death of Superman, it's probably going to sit there for a while.
I bet you I could finally complete that run of Alf comics.
You could.
Or Ren and Stimpy.
We had some Alf comics.
Yeah, we
comics
do.
here.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy.
Like if you look in
got
our
a dream.
look in the A's right there, you'll find some Alf.
There's a tag for it probably.
Literally right behind you. So you'll find some Alf.
All right. So
What are we talking about today? Today we are talking
That
about
was 20 minutes.
our year in
Gosh.
wrapping up our year.
Yeah, this is this is our wrap.
Yeah.
It's all wrap. Everything has to rhyme. No, this is
This time.
the favorite comics from 2025.
Yeah.
What we're looking forward to 2026.
Okay.
All right.
So who wants to go first? Me?
Well,
Okay.
with the extra British accent.
Sure. I surprisingly, there was a couple of things. I thought by and large the year was pretty good. The Absolute books have been going from leaps and bounds and all of that. I've not read anything yet that made me think, I've had enough of this. Unlike, I have to say, Marvel's second stab at Ultimate books, that turned out to be, I think, a flash in the pan. I just lost all interest in it. Just got tedious.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's coming from a huge Jonathan Hickman fan.
Yeah.
But I'm just not, like, the first couple of issues was like, oh, this is interesting. And I'm still waiting for it to actually deliver on that,
It does feel like you build and build and build and build, and I haven't quite hit the payoff.
Yeah, there's sort of, and it's funny because I know there was kind of a criticism of that when he was doing the X books.
Yeah,
like it's just going and going and going, and maybe there is something to that. Maybe
and it sort of petered out. It didn't like conclude as you would hope.
Maybe Hickman, much like a Tom King, although I am thoroughly enjoying what he's doing on Wonder Woman. Maybe he needs we're going to give you 12 issues. So beginning, middle, end, go play, and that maybe that's his forte. But yeah, Absolute was very good. I really enjoyed that. And Moon Knight, still enjoying Moon Knight. Jed McKay is doing great things with that. I usually stopping a book and then a new issue one and stopping a book. But I kind of get it. There's some tonal shifts here, and he's taking advantage of these relaunches to kind of go
I
with
heard
that.
he was trying to make a play on the phases of the moon.
Kind of, yeah.
With these
There's a
relaunches
little bit
and
of
stuff.
that.
And I'm like, I mean, you don't really make it clear in the marketing, but
No, but
he
but
made
it
some
is
sense.
good. It is actually pretty good. And you know, I think not that there's a lot of great Moon Knight runs to choose from, and that's coming from a big fan. But I think this is actually one of the better ones. I mean, it is pretty good. And I gotta say, I didn't think that I would say this. Batman, Deadpool, Deadpool, Batman.
It's good.
Thoroughly enjoyed this. And
I'm waiting for lightning.
I know,
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
just
I'm like, this is.
Does this mean?
Yeah,
Does this
I
mean that you-
pulled it out of the box. It's,
Do you know which one I'm talking
I
about?
do know what you're talking
Okay.
about. JLA Avengers.
Yes.
It's sitting there. It's by the side of my bed, and I'm like, I might actually have to give this a go. Maybe I've
That's funny.
I've been wrong. Maybe I've been wrong. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's
what
just-
about the new amalgam? Like when they have
That's just nonsense.
Batpool.
Yeah, no. I
Batpool would be, you know.
I tell you what. I tell you what it is. So I was having this conversation, which we'll circle back to because I don't want to take up the whole thing here. But when I was in England, whenever I go to England, there's something I always do. I go into W.H. Smith's, which is a very famous news agent over there. Although they're not W.H. Smith's anymore. Now they're T.G. Jones, which is... I'll do another podcast somewhere else for that bit of rage. And I'll pick up a copy of 2000 AD and the Judge Dredd magazine, because when you're in England, this is what you do. And I did that, and I was reading them on the plane back, and I was really enjoying them. And I was like, you know what? I keep saying, I'm going to try and get back into some of these British sci-fi comics. I actually quite enjoy them. It led me into a conversation with my wife about, because she was like, well, what is it about 2000 AD that you like?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay. And I said, the thing that I always liked about, and I was a huge reader through the 80s, and then I've been off and on through the 90s, off and on the early aughts, and then nothing for like 20 years. So I'm kind of coming back into this fresh, so I might be completely wrong. But one of the things that I really liked is that for me, it always seemed to be story first.
Mm-hmm.
The characters exist in service to the story, not the other way around, which is what you find in American, certainly American superhero comics, is that the story is in service to the character because they need to keep that. Spider-Man's got to come out month after month after month.
Yep.
Whereas something like 2000 AD, you could have like Nemesis the Warlock, for example. There was an end. And that's quite a thing to be like, no, we're done. I mean, actually, Strontium Dog is probably the more famous one because there was an end, and much like what happened to Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle famously, he killed off Sherlock Holmes. The Reichenbach Falls, I think. And there was such a public outcry. No, you can't kill Sherlock Holmes. Okay. And he brought it back, and he would say, well, these are the lost tales of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
This is what, these fill in the gaps.
when you weren't looking, this
When
is
you
what
weren't
Sherlock-
looking, this is what he was doing prior to studying Scarlet and things like that. So he kind of buckled to public pressure. But his story, he had that, and that was done.
Yeah.
And I quite like that. So I was talking to my wife about this, and it reminded me of something I was thinking of while I was reading the DC Deadpool Batman one, which is if it's a good book, oh, I care who's in it. That kind. This sort of. I don't want my Chinese food touching my Italian food on the plate. I don't want my DC characters touching my Marvel characters. That's just weird and bizarre and strange. So there you go. And I have to admit, learning that they're doing the big boss battle in this DC KO where they're going to have Vampirella and Red Sonja,
Homelander,
the serial killing bear from beneath the trees where nobody sees. I'm like, actually, that's kind of cool. And do I want Batman Judge Dredd? Come on, there's a history for this. Yes. There's a precedent.
I've read this book.
There is.
Yeah, I've read this book.
No, for KO. Why can't we have 2000 AD characters come in?
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, were you fine with the Batman Judge Dredd crossovers?
Yeah, I was actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was young. I was innocent. It was the 90s. I needed the money.
I didn't know.
I didn't know better.
Put myself through school.
I did actually. But, come on, that first one especially, it was Simon Bisley on the art. And, and then you've got Glenn Fabry, I think, did one, and possibly Greg Staples, I don't know. But they're so ridiculous and over the top. But, yeah.
I liked them.
And I'm glad you're giving a chance because I've always treated those as like just an alternate universe.
Yes.
I mean, you're right. It's got to be a good story because there are some of those crossovers. The stories are horrible. And I was like, oh God. But I will say once again, I think if I had to, just like if I had to sell you on Lower Decks or Picard Season 3, Justice League, Avengers with Perez and Kurt Busiek.
Well, I will.
And two people who got the property.
Yes.
But this isn't a crossover show. This is
you know who I would love to do. This is people are gonna disagree with me. I want a Bendis Justice League Avengers comic.
That might work. I wouldn't mind a Bendis Powers and some other detective cop thing too, because I mean, he definitely understood the Avengers for the time.
Yes.
Man, maybe we'll get one of those crossovers. Maybe they'll do a Justice League Avengers crossover.
I mean, they seem to be doing more of those this year coming up because there's a.
Well, we didn't get so that we were going to talk about what we look forward to in 26. And
there's a new Superman, Spider-Man.
That's my number one thing.
Yes,
I'm so much looking forward to Superman, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's for a weird story too. The story that looks most entertaining to me,
right,
is there's a Jimmy Olsen Carnage crossover.
Yes.
And I don't know why, but I'm captured by this.
Why not? Yeah.
What I'm hoping it is. No one's told me what it is. I don't know. What I'm hoping it is I'm hoping it's like a mistaken identity thing with the redheads.
Sure.
So
like Cletus
Cassidy
and camera.
Jimmy Olsen. Yeah.
It has to be.
I'm hoping that it's like a mistaken identity thing.
Jimmy sitting in Ravenwood or Ravenclaw, whatever,
right.
And yeah.
Well, if Jimmy Olsen has this history of, when he's not turning into giant turtle man.
That would be because the symbiote got a hold of Jimmy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was thinking is that, it has to be the symbiote. It's going to infect poor Jimmy Olsen.
Maybe he just jumps into the redhead that he sees and he's like, oh crap, wrong guy.
I'm here now. Let's go eat some people.
Let's go figure this out.
But yeah, no, that there's another one as well, isn't there? It's I think it's Rucker's story. It's like Lois Lane and Mary Jane.
Yeah. That looks good.
Like that'd be fun.
I'm very much looking forward to that book.
Yeah. And
what I am hoping, we've got to find a better way to do this, because I heard some people on Monday. I was talking to them, and they said they had asked their friend, hey, did you read the Batman Deadpool one? Because there was a story they wanted to really reference.
Right.
They were like, yeah, I got it. No. Not Deadpool Batman Deadpool. Yeah. And there's a whole group of people that didn't realize there were two books.
Yes.
They just thought it was more covers for the first one.
Right.
So we've got to find a way to make sure that it's clear these are two different things.
No, and that's a very, very valid point, because the sell-through on
the first one,
Deadpool Batman,
was way
better.
Yeah.
Marvel, they got the first book out, and then DC's book comes out, and it didn't land.
Yeah. DC gets to go first on the next one.
They do.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone will be a little wiser now. Grant Morrison doing Batman Deadpool. I thought there was a lot of meta commentary in there, and it was fun. I quite enjoyed it. So out of the two, I think DC had the stronger one.
Which one had the one where it was? It wasn't Perpetua. It was like a. I can't remember.
I don't know. Constantine and Doctor Strange was a lot of fun. I mean, it wasn't over the top, but there's.
Yeah, but yeah.
I liked Constantine, Doctor Strange.
Not it. There could have been more with it, obviously, because Constantine was less Constantine-like.
He was.
But it's still just...
I was expecting there would be more, taking the piss out of Doctor Strange, because it's John Constantine. He's the working class mage standing in front of a guy dressed in a giant blue unitard with the big red cloak and the thing and the and all that.
Yeah.
How could you not just crack up?
Well, you could have added Wong.
That would have been
the Wong Chaz crossover.
Yeah.
Combo.
There you go. So yeah, that was me for 2025.
So we're looking forward to coming up.
Well, two things. One is Superman and Spider-Man, because why not? Let's keep this party going. And number two, figuring out a way that I can start getting 2000 AD in Judge Dredd magazine regularly, without breaking the bank and suffering the frustration of missing issues. And apparently this might be a bit of a challenge because Diamond isn't carrying them. I could swear I saw an interview with the lady who runs the show at Luna, and that she was saying that she had just secured the deal to get the Rebellion properties regularly into the States.
That's what John was talking about.
But we looked, and there's no solicitations there, just some of the trades, but not the issues. So I need to do some research.
Are they weekly?
2000 AD is a weekly. Judge Dredd magazine is a monthly.
We also, maybe because of how far ahead they have to print that, they may have to burn through that before it moves. I don't know, but
I don't know. But I'm gonna give it a go because it's good stuff. And Rebellion has been doing, as a publisher, Rebellion has been doing an amazing job the last couple of years by bringing back archive collections, not only of sort of classic 2000 AD stuff, Rogue Trooper, Slain, Nemesis, etc. But they're also now doing a lot of the war comics that were very popular in England in the 60s and 70s. Action, there's a hardcover coming out, I think, in February, and it's the first 12 issues of Action, which was a very short-lived British weekly, sort of boys' own weekly is what they referred to them as. But it was so violent and so sort of socially unpleasant that they came under pressure from the government and Mary Whitehouse's doves. If you know what I'm talking about, you know why you should spit after you say that. And they put this comic to pasture, and then it came back later as Battle Action. And of course, Garth Ennis, in the last couple of years, has been leading the charge of almost writing all of these stories himself, trying to renew interest in Battle Action, and it's good stuff. It really is. British comics are not about superheroes. I think they very wisely realize that let America do superheroes, because really nobody does them better than the Americans. Absolutely. Like science fiction comics, the Europeans do really good, but they're out there. I mean, some of these things, the heavy metal type stuff, I mean, it's out there. England is very good at amusing comics for children, violent comics, and amusing violent comics for children. So, which kind of sums up a lot about British culture, actually.
Okay.
Violence and humor.
Okay.
That's
There you
going to
go.
stick for a minute.
Politeness
Sure, why not?
mixed in.
Maybe. Depends.
I mean, maybe not you.
How sober are we? You know?
Yeah.
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 But that's it. Yeah. There's no... I don't... Oh, and wherever this DC Omega Absolute thing goes, I'm enjoying that. So
Yeah, it's
you know,
fun.
keep going with that. It just seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I've been loving the fights. I've read all the fights. I think I
Yeah.
missed one. I think we sold out of it before I got it.
Superman, or Luther and Demon. That's one I think you missed.
I've got it. I didn't read it yet.
And Titans and Swamp Thing.
I read that one here.
Okay.
What I haven't read is not the Luther one. Oh,
Lobo Wonder Woman.
Guy Gardner.
Oh, Jay and
Guy
Right,
Gardner.
Okay.
So I haven't read that one. So I'm ready to. I read the Lobo Wonder Woman. My favorite one of the bunch has been Aquaman Hawkman.
Okay.
I loved that book.
I'm behind. I've got them all, but I set them aside because I was traveling. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman Captain Atom was good, but
That's
it was
in
what
the
I thought it
book.
would be.
Right. Yeah.
Aquaman Hawkman, I didn't know where they were going to go, and the power sets were insane. Aquaman's powers have been growing through the All-In run. He got Mira's powers and some other stuff, and then but Hawkman gets juiced up pretty good.
Okay.
So it's excellent. I don't want to tell you how, because I was like, oh, that's the coolest idea when I read
Cool.
it. So it was fun, a lot of fun. Like stuff. I always loved Hawkman. Actually, if you're talking to Super Friends, Jason, way back when, my favorites were Hawkman and Aquaman. I thought Hawkman was the coolest. He just looks cool with the wings.
Oh
the
yeah,
whole thing.
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
big mace,
absolutely.
well.
And I've always been a swimmer, and I'm a diver now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Aquaman has always been my favorite. And having Aquaman with actual good powers, it's pretty
I'm
great.
still on the fence about that, but I'm enjoying the book.
Yeah, like the run right now is pretty great.
It is pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
And this fight was sort of like watching. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody write Iceman where he lets loose.
Right.
And like it shows that he's like an Omega level mutant, and
That's right.
you're like, oh, he can do that. That's what they did with Aquaman this time. You're like,
There you go.
oh, that's good. I like that.
So, what was your 2025 favorite?
I have been so hooked on the Absolute books,
Right.
and it's and I guess the KO fights have been 2025. I've just been into it. I've been into the whole thing. I've been reading the All-In books as we've gone. It's the most fun Superman. Still, we're on a run where Superman's about as the core Superman book has been really good. I haven't loved action as much. I
No,
thought I
me
would.
neither. Yeah.
But they went to a Superboy storyline that's just not as interesting to me.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's just not. It's not like, oh, I can't wait to read this right now.
Right.
But the Superman book has been great. My favorite single issue, well, no, actually, favorite single issue was definitely the Bane payoff on Absolute Batman.
That was pretty good.
That payoff was so good. I don't know if I would have said I loved it, but just the one that had my head spinning the most was the one where Batman's friends, Bruce's friends, his new rogues,
the Bane stuff.
that Bane thing, that
Yeah.
that one has stuck
Yes.
with me ever since. I talked to a guy in the shop yesterday, and he said he had to stop reading it at that point. He said it was too dark for him.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah,
it
it was-
really is.
It was pretty dark, and I said, man, you're a gentle spirit. I appreciate that about you. And he had to stop reading it there. Anyway, so those things have hooked me in, absolutely. So I think they're good. So I've enjoyed those quite a bit. So Absolute Batman is a series. Well, Superman. Well, actually, the thing I read first. I won't leave. If we're here like recording, all right, here's what came out this week. I will oftentimes read that Absolute Batman before I make it home.
Okay.
I'll either sit in the car or I'll read it before I leave. But like I've never been a like I've got to get my comic and read it on Wednesday guy.
I'm so glad you detailed that out, because for a brief flash there I thought, please tell me he's not reading this book while he's driving.
No.
No, there was one he was hyping up when we did the videos. Like, yeah, I'm going to be reading this while I'm driving home. And I'm like, if you're in North Richland Hills, stay off this road. Because Jason doesn't have a self-driving car.
Not right now, no.
So that's absolute.
Because it was the issue before the Joker. It was the Bane conclusion where we were all like.
No, I stopped. I read it before I left here. And then I took it home and I read it again.
Right.
Because I was like, he did what now? So, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I just. Because the whole time you're like, how is he going to beat this guy? Like, they build him up. How is he going to beat this guy? And then he does.
He does.
So, yeah, comics have been better this year than I can remember them.
It has been
in a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been great to see so many people come in that haven't read comics in a long while. They'll hear about something. And Absolute Batman is one of those things. I can hand sell Absolute Batman to anybody that walks in the door.
It's definitely been a stronger DC year.
Oh, definitely.
Than Marvel. Because, we have this like Ford and Chevy. Some years are bad.
We do.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to go a little different because I could repeat everything y'all said because we all agree. The Absolute line's great, and I'm looking forward to see what the next year event, how we deal with Darkseid and all of that, what's coming after KO. But I'm going to push what's been some of my absolute favorite stuff. I'm going to go trade paperback routes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for us nostalgia fans, Marvel reprinted most of ROM.
All of it. Yep.
Well, the fourth one hadn't come out yet. Third one just came.
No, they're on four. No, it's just three.
Because it's leaving off a bunch. There's no Ditko in this one. I think there's a fourth one. But we'll come back to that.
See. Okay.
Micronauts.
Yep.
I've been enjoying that. I bring it up on every What Are We Doing This Week video, the DC Finest.
Yes. Because
they have hit eras that, you can always find Batman Year One.
Sure.
Death of Superman. And I'll even say even the Titans, Judas Contract. You can always find a reprinting of that. Mm-hmm. But Batman Year Two, no. The Killing Joke Batman, which was kind of a teaser because it wasn't just Killing Joke, but it was all those other Batman issues around it.
That's right.
The events. Now, the way DC's doing this, everything is an event, comes under event, and then the title.
Which I quite like.
So I bought 0 Hour because it had all the filler issues and they put them in order. Same thing with Crisis. And I have all those issues, but before I could buy my Crisis trade paperback, and then I have to buy an omnibus of the tie-in books, and there was 3 of those.
Right.
Now this is in order, and what I found for the casual fan who is aware of Crisis, when I'm selling that to them, and I start flipping through and go, hey, there's going to be other stories in here, 2 people come back and said, I didn't know Jason Todd was written as not an asshole.
Right.
Before Crisis. And I was like, yes, he was very much a Dick Grayson ripoff. And they're like, I don't know how they got away with it, but I kind of liked it. And the other one that they brought up is how Harvey Bullock, pre-Crisis, was treated as a bumbling fool.
Right.
He was comic relief. In fact, there's 2 issues, Gene Colan drew them, where Batman and Robin are mocking Bullock a lot, because I was walking around with the sandwich in his hand and all of that, right. And they're like, I didn't know that was the way he was portrayed. I was like, it was Tim Bruce in the animated series that turned him into a more, respectable character, not what Tim Burton did, and then you developed him and said he actually ended up in Checkmate. And they're like, what? I was like, you don't know what Checkmate is either. All of this, and so those that they reprint with the tie-ins in order, like the New Gods, they're going to do a softbound version where you don't have to have those big, heavy omnibuses. I think for the casual fan that's not been involved in that, it's a great format.
It's
the price
the
point.
Accessibility, yeah.
The price point's pretty decent. $40 for 20 books is not bad. And some of the Superman stuff, they got an omnibus of the Triangle Years, but now they're reprinting in smaller chunks of the Triangle Years. And this guy just fell over when he's like, I remember the triangle years.
Yeah,
I loved every
the
minute of
Triangle
those.
Years.
The time travel one where he
Yep.
was hopping through there, that's coming in. And even I appreciate the way they've done the Golden Age Wonder Woman reprints. Those
I actually just pulled some of those time and time again.
Yeah.
I think it was, and then I pulled the first time. I think the first time I saw Batman crossover with Superman was Dark Knight over Metropolis, I think.
yes.
And we had those back issues floating around. And I was like, these are coming home with me. They're not big value. Like
But they're fun times,
yeah.
and so for me, yes, I could talk about Absolute, I
Yeah.
could all of that, but for someone else who hasn't experienced these other things, I'm going to pick those. Come in, and if there's an era of DC that you're curious, the DC finest are a great way. Marvel Epic Collections have always been there, but they're getting to be $60-$70 retail. That's getting high.
They are.
But some of these like ROMs,
But they're totally worth it at multiverse.shop.
oh, they are. Well, they are, and they're doing the smaller formats now, where you can get the
Yes.
Daredevil Born Again,
Yep.
kind of like the $9. I kind of like the compacts, but like we've talked before, I like the larger,
Yeah.
because they can't squeeze some of those panels in there. But
I like
if
the
you're going-
compact for what it is.
well, if you're going for the airport or the doctor's office,
Yeah.
they're great. Marvel's kind of giving you an option for that, but
It's good if you're like, oh, I've heard about this Court of Owls thing. I've never read it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can. That's actually the one we've sold the most of is Court of Owls, because people have Arkham Asylum, people have Hush,
Yep.
but a lot of them are like, oh, I've never seen this one, and it's so weird what they
and
pick
I
up.
gotta say, Watchmen and Arkham Asylum in that smaller format so hard to appreciate.
Watchmen's almost impossible
Yeah,
to read.
yeah,
The
you just-
9-panel thing,
Yeah,
it does. It is very condensed. I want to jump on the DC Finest thing, because the thing that I've really liked that they're doing is they've done DC Finest horror, DC Finest
sci-fi.
science fiction, DC Finest war, and we're about to get DC Finest Western.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
so under that banner, that genre banner, that's not specific to any one book, they're saying, okay, well, here's 2 years worth of war comics that we put out in the late 50s, or here's a couple of years worth of horror comics that we put out in the early 70s. And it's a really nice mix
Yep.
to see, because it's something that I would love to DC. Oh, that reminds me of one thing I'm looking forward to for this coming year. We'll come back to it. DC were always really good. It wasn't just superheroes. They did these great war comics.
Oh yeah.
And these great westerns and these great horror and the science fiction stuff as well. So that's actually a lot of fun. There's some really good stuff in there.
It's interesting. So Challengers Comics and Conversations, another podcast for another shop. It's a Chicago-based shop, Challengers. I've been there. And they're really great. It's a comic business podcast. So they talk a lot about the sausage making in comics as they go. But they're really heavy graphic novels. They organize by genre.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, okay. So they organize their books. So you want a crime story? Here's a crime story. Superheroes go in one place. So they organize their book by genre. It's interesting to me. I think I would never be able to find anything. But
that's interesting.
It's a fascinating concept.
Well, it would definitely work better for us if we went, got all the DC Finest horror and all that. So here's your horror.
Yeah.
Because really, superheroes. Nah. Star Wars. Nah.
Yeah.
But no, I can see.
Sci-fi and superheroes, I'm sure, is their biggest sets of collections. But
the
horror, I'm sure they have a big section of that.
Yeah.
But then you get into, like, I guess, detective comics, some noir stuff you would have.
Right.
I don't know what you would do with, like, I guess Department of Truth would be sci-fi, maybe.
Sci-fi conspiracy theory.
Yeah, mystery, conspiracy.
Mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really it's an interesting idea. The books are coming now tagged with genre.
Okay.
So one of the meta fields that we get now from the publisher is genre.
Okay.
So that might be an interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what were you going to bring up? You're excited about it
DC are bringing back Vertigo.
Oh yes.
Yeah, next year.
We get Vertigo next year.
I think we get the first solicitation book here in a couple of weeks as far as
I
what
think
you can
so,
order.
and I
I
like
think it's on
that.
it was on the desk earlier.
It's they're not so Black Label will be their mature DC IP character driven stories. So your Swamp Thing, your Sandman, your Hellblazer, your Shade, the Changing Man, whoever it is, those will be Black Label books.
Yeah.
But they're still in the DC universe. Vertigo will be creator-owned content.
Okay.
So it puts them, by bringing back Vertigo, it puts them in a position where now Image and Dark Horse and some of the other publishers that offer those creator-owned opportunities, now they've got there's another contender in the ring, attracting, when back in the day, 90s, you had this period of time where somebody like Grant Morrison, for example, Grant Morrison was more than happy to do IP related. He did JLA, but while he's working on that, he's also in Vertigo doing The Invisibles or doing Sea Guy or whatever it was. So he can scratch that commercial itch and also that, no, this is mine.
Yeah.
And there was some good stuff, because what you're looking for, I think, when it comes to creator owned is the same role that a good editor would take in for prose novels. You want somebody who's got a very good eye, who can say, no, that's a good story, that's worth publishing, that we could sell that's commercially sound because it's actually good. And what Vertigo meant to me, there was actually a period of time in the 90s, that's all I read, DC Vertigo books, which is great because they had Sandman and Swamp Thing and all that kind of stuff. But if Peter Milligan's got a series coming out, or Joe Lansdale is doing Jonah Hex for Vertigo, Hex has got worms, and but it was all good fun because it was such a mixed bag. I thoroughly loved it, so I'm excited to see what this will be, and the initial lineup. I think there's a couple of ongoings and a couple of mini series. And they're all very different and tonally.
It's interesting. A couple of years ago, it felt like the big two couldn't get anything to click, but we had really interesting independent books coming out.
Yes,
consistently every week we were getting really. That's like when Department of Truth premiered, and I keep going back to that one. It's stuck in my head right now, mainly because I couldn't find Volume 1 the other day, and I really wanted it. But there was a bunch that were just hitting every single week.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard nearly as much about the independents lately. It's been a lot quieter on that front. But DC's been knocking it out of the park for 25. I'll be interested to see what happens.
It always seems like that they'll, like for 5 years, each publisher will have a group of writers and group of artists.
Yeah.
And they'll try to, as they age out, they try to bring in the next group, and they usually don't grab.
Right.
And then we'll go almost a decade. Before we're like, because I remember, there were times when, the Image could do no wrong. And then as we were talking about, ordering, Ultimate Spider-Man, we almost missed out on the first Hickman one because everyone was looking for that. And I even said I probably wouldn't have ordered more than 5 over subscriptions for Absolute Batman because I didn't think anyone was going to care, except the Batman fans, and would have been weepingly apologizing to Jason why we missed out on number 1. But hey, they're going to have 47 prints of the next. So it's very hard to feel.
We should have blown up our was it 15 or 16? 15. Absolutely Batman 15.
Something beeping. Is it just me?
No, it's you.
Heart monitor.
Okay.
There's a background buzz. For sure.
No, it sounds like
but we should have blown up our Absolute Joker order, and we did. I think we went up.
Well, here's the thing: we keep increasing.
Yeah.
And the gamble, the hard thing with this is, if we go, screw it, let's order 100, is when Scott Snyder gets hit by a bus, and they give it to
Brett Ratner.
yeah, someone else to write, and it just and
I said Brett Ratner.
yeah, crappy director. Who
I
knows?
know, I know.
Well, just in the X-Men universe.
Sure.
But it is an ebb and flow sometimes where you're enjoying it and it's really selling, and I keep saying this. Somewhere they're going to wrap this universe up.
Mm.
I've never seen them. The first time around, the Ultimate Universe was the first one that went past 100, where I saw them running competing universes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, that has not fared out well for most publishers. The few times they've tried it, this is the interesting time where, Jim Lee's not helping them with the Batman Hush thing, so those sales there. But the new Batman,
We all knew that was going to happen, though.
I didn't. I thought he had his shit together. Pardon me.
Well,
but then the new Batman comic, Matt Fractions, is running pretty good, but Absolute Batman's still beating them.
Oh,
and as long as you
by 6x.
yeah,
Like,
and as long
by
as
a lot.
and as long as Scott Snyder wants to keep cranking it out, but one day Scott's going to want to take a break,
Yeah.
and they might give it to Mark Waid,
Well-
which Mark Waid's not a bad writer. However, you don't like the action comic, and he's writing that one.
Well, but I like World's Finest.
Yeah,
and
but
I like
I'm just saying, but
the,
you
I
got-
like,
but see,
I
I
like
don't-
Justice League Unlimited.
But I don't know if Mark Waid could write Absolute Batman.
Well,
No,
you don't give that to him, though.
No, well, I'm just
No.
saying, but that's what would happen. They would
I would
go.
I would give Absolute Batman to
I'd give him
he's
to
sort of
Grant
canceled
Morrison.
right now, but Warren Ellis.
Grant Morrison dust him off.
so
They get too weird.
Okay.
Like you did it with Cosmic Absolute Batman or some
wow.
ridiculous
No,
thing.
no. But I think you're on the right path. You
Yeah.
absolutely are. But it goes along with something I was talking about a moment ago,
Neil
which
Gaiman.
is about story.
He
No,
might be in jail.
Oh wait,
We
everybody
don't
that I
know.
want to give it to is canceled right now.
Characters in service of the story, or story in service of the characters. And it should be characters in service of the story. So what you're looking for are people who have the talent to tell good stories,
Yeah,
not just... Because I think there's a difference to the type of person who can just, oh yeah, I can come up with a story month in, month out.
Those stock
Yeah.
Yeah,
writers.
we'll just keep going. I mean, look, I love and will forever pray at the altar of Chris Claremont. I think, his going through the 80s when he was on X-Men was a rare treat, and I was very lucky to be there for those issues as they were coming out month over month. But there was a point where Claremont was just kind of showing us what he could do with the characters. The story, who cares? And I think that people are smarter than that. I think, consumers they want something that they can sink their teeth into because there's so much available.
Mm-hmm.
So you want someone who is gonna... You want whoever's leading the show, and I definitely think it's something that we're seeing in the big decision makers with comics at the moment, is we need to tell good stories. Less about, let's just keep... How many Wolverine books can we have on sell? How many Punisher books can we have out
yeah.
there? Let's get some good stories, and that will work. And I see a bit of a change in DC now that Dan DiDio's gone. It took a couple of years to catch it up, but I think that's had a big impact because DiDio seemed to be more interested in what his idea was. Not so much good story, but kind of the novelty of it.
Yeah, maybe a theme that he went with, like there was that villain thing.
Yeah,
they did,
yeah.
there was
Well,
but I don't know. I was almost gonna say, yeah, they're focused on letting each book run to do its thing, but with All In, they are doing a line wide.
they are.
You know,
Oh,
you know what it is though? It's a line wide vibe. It's
Yes.
different than a line wide story. The line wide vibe has been, if you're in the All In side, the Prime universe, it's bright, sunny.
Yes.
Here's the thing, and there are Easter eggs that relate to the bigger story.
Sure.
But it's not tied into one story. It's but it's a vibe of this is the ultra good, bright universe.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but I would take it one step further. What you really want, comics at their best, is when you have that sense of competition. There was a moment with Marvel where you had Bendis and Fraction and Brubaker and Rucka and Hickman was coming in, and it was like, oh man, you could just sort of imagine these guys are like...
You just wanted to go to those Marvel retreats and sit there and watch.
Bendis is there and he's reading the latest thing from Fraction. He's going, damn it, son of a... I
That's
wish
the best freaking Iron Fist I've ever seen.
And that's what you want. And one of the things that I really felt when Vertigo kicked off is you've got... Now, granted, it was the sort of second British invasion, and they really exploited that. But you've got Neil Gaiman, and you've got Gaiman on Sandman, and Ennis on Hellblazer, and then Preacher, and you've got Milligan on Shade, and he's doing some really interesting stuff like with Enigma and The Extremist with McKeever and stuff like that. And then you've got Wagner and Siegel doing Sandman Mystery Theater. You've got all these really interesting, it's like, oh, that's a good book. Oh, that's a really good one. Oh, this one's going to be better than this one. It was like everyone was really bringing their game to have.
Well, as a
I
consumer,
want the best book out there.
Yeah.
as a consumer, when you got home, what do I read first?
Yeah, that's it.
And,
exactly.
and it wasn't clear cut.
And then,
Yes.
but over the last few years, that has kind of
It ebbs and
fizzled
flows.
away. It really has. So that's what I'm hoping
Well, DC
that we'll get this
well-
back. And
well-
DC, I give them credit. It was their year.
We'll enjoy DC's ride,
Sure.
and then something will happen at Marvel somewhere. I mean, it
Yeah,
because
sure.
because if the industry has shown us anything, now I can't.
that'll be awesome.
I
I'm agree with that.
I don't know
Yes.
what I would ever do if they were both running at 100%
it'd
at
be
the
the
same
greatest
time.
thing ever.
Well, that's just too damn expensive. I mean, it's
But what a problem to have.
It
Yes.
is. It is. I mean, for
I mean, note
for
I own a
retail.
comic shop, so yes, let's do that.
But talk about just personally. Yeah.
There is one more book that I'm really looking forward to. I'm so sorry.
No,
I
please.
said one, and I keep thinking of Ryan North is on The Flash.
I
I
want
can
to
see
see.
that.
That's going to be...
I want to see
what he's done with Fantastic Four, I can see him doing
Well,
with The Flash. Make it a smart science book.
I want it to be
Let's get
Wally
weird.
then.
I think it's still going to be Wall.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And we've needed something on Flash. It's been not great.
No, I
mean, Wade's
I
kinda
like it. So the Spurrier stuff, but it was really out there.
Was.
Yeah.
I had to give up on it.
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
I didn't
it was
enjoy
out
it.
there.
But now that Wade's on it, I've been reading the what was it?
Impulse.
Impulse.
And
Impulsive. There's some.
oh, they're calling it impulsive, but it's Impulse and
Max Mercury, evil Max Mercury.
Well, it's time displaced Max Mercury. They went back in the 1800s and corrupted him. But I'll tell you, what, and I know
Bad
it's a-
Max.
I-
Bad Max.
what I really enjoyed, and I miscommunicated which title this was on a What's Coming Out video. I thought it was Absolute Batman with Absolute Wonder Woman. It's actually the Absolute Wonder Woman with Absolute Batman showing
okay.
up. And that interaction was very...
That was fun.
Have you read it?
No, not
okay.
yet. No.
That was fun.
It was... They really got that.
Okay.
And...
It was a one and done story too.
Yeah,
It ended nicely.
Yeah, wrapped up in
I've got a bunch of books in the bag from the shop because of my holiday thing,
Yeah.
so it's probably in there.
And they're going to do the
Read it right now.
they're going to do the other side of it with Batman and Wonder Woman, but it'll be a separate story.
Right.
But it almost had that old Justice League cartoon feel where they weren't flirting, but Diana was very gentle with him. She's a warrior, but this is a guy who's standing here who doesn't understand magic.
Right.
And the way she's explaining it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of sweet, but it's a good story. But their interaction was once again, good story,
Yeah, that's it.
and really enjoyed
These are good.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't talked that up enough. And I think we may have one left. I don't know. We blew through those pretty fast
Yeah.
too.
Have we had Absolute Batman 16 come out yet?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Once again, I was confused. I thought, and this week I think we've got a bunch of absolute stuff. We got Absolute Batman Arc comes out this
Yeah,
week.
ooh, I want to read that.
Then
Okay.
and then Superman and a couple others.
Okay.
We'll be back on track with New Year's was kind of a rough
Well,
week.
I was able to. I looked up. I wrote a little software for us, so I can look up. Our problem is always when we look at what comics we sold. There's so many different covers.
Right.
It's hard to know like how many Absolute Batman 15s did you sell?
Right.
Because it's split over all these covers and it's hard to see it. Right. You have to add them.
Sure.
So I wrote a little Shopify app that
Sorts it.
that groups it together for me
Okay.
now, and I know that there are 15 copies of number 15 that we haven't sold yet. So that means they're sitting in somebody's box. So
Someone didn't pick their stuff up.
somebody didn't pick up their stuff. 15 copies of it out there.
Those might have to.
Well,
Get a phone call.
I don't pull out of people's boxes.
Yeah. I get
But-
a phone call. Hey man, you come and get your
That's
stuff.
what I was
Yeah,
gonna say, phone
like
call.
if
Yeah.
you're not coming,
Let me know.
because I also want to see like how many other things have they left in there. There was somebody that had they hadn't come in a really really long time, and I rang them up, and they had some books that I know for sure are very valuable now, and we had let it ride for a while, and we
Right.
do if we know.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy that used to come in every week, and now he's once a quarter, I think. Fine, like we know him. We'll be in once a quarter, but
Hey, once again,
there's we haven't done clean out in a while. Kind of want to do a little spring cleaning maybe when that
well,
happens.
John does a pretty good job of that. There is, I've had to make some phone calls. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But if they keep their sub up and it is once a quarter, well, I guess that's just what it is. But,
Well, the rule is once a month. You've got to come in once a month. But if you talk to us,
Yeah,
then
sure.
we're fine.
Yeah. That's
But
it.
if we haven't seen you in 3 months and we haven't heard from you either,
yeah, no, there's been a few, and there's been a couple that after I've even said I know I called you a couple of times. Oh yeah, well you came in a month after I called you, so yeah, John took care of your stuff. I'm sorry, pal. But,
Where are we at? How we doing?
It's about that time.
we're doing
that
great.
time.
We're doing good.
So there you go. But yeah, that's it. Superman, Spider-Man. That'll be, what is that, March? February?
Yes, it is March. I think March
But
16th.
the reprint comes out this week.
And yeah.
The Treasury Edition?
I'm enjoying those Treasury
I don't know if it's a
editions.
Treasury edition, but I do know that the reprint of the first Spider-Man Superman comes out this week. 'Cause I didn't
So-
pay attention.
I have a Superman Spider-Man Treasury Edition that you pulled out for me, and it's one of my favorite things. And I think one of the reprints is that book,
And I know they're
which
doing
is
the Treasury
good because the one that I have is
beat to hell. I
pretty
remember-
fragile. Like I've not read
remember
it.
when I found it, I was like, "Hey man, don't open this." But
Yeah, I've not read
it's
it.
it's going to disintegrate. But yeah, no, I got that DC Holiday Treasury one.
I
and
bought that one.
That was a hoot reading some of those
Oh my gosh.
Golden Age Superman.
Batman goes caroling in
Yeah.
that book.
Perfect.
It was so great.
Well, the Wonder Woman and the Superman Golden Age, and then the Simon Sandman and Sandy
Yep.
story in
That's
there.
it. No, this was good. I
I know you're.
I love that stuff.
So
Did you read the Mock Uncle Christmas
Yeah.
story?
I did.
Yeah.
It was okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big hit was that Treasury Edition.
I've got
Old
the
one.
I've got the original.
Oh, do you?
I do.
I had it
yes.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I
No, I've
skipped
got the
it,
original,
yeah.
but I don't want to keep
Yeah, no.
opening it. So this was like great. I got the foil one because I thought maybe that'll give it a little extra durability because
it's like
I get nostalgic around the
You're like, I
holidays.
paid $4 for this. I'm going to pay 14. That's fine. I'll take
It
that.
became
Right.
that actually became my Zoom background. I have that, and then I have some superhero Christmas pops. That was my Zoom background for work. It was excellent.
That's
So,
it.
all right, 2026.
2026.
Here we
Here we
go.
come.
Up and away.